Hey guys, it's Ed again. Well, for Christmas this year, my wife bought me a ultrasonic cleaner. Very similar to this one. Difference is she bought a 3-liter cleaner, which is all great and wonderful. But she paid, I want to say, over $200. I think it was $250. And it was only 3 liters. So I returned it, and that went well. That just because it was not what I wanted. It was too small. So I was able to buy this unit right here. This is a 10 liter, and from the auction site for $126 shipped to the door. I don't know if you guys know too much about these, but what I've read about them is they work pretty good on cleaning carburetors and getting into the tiny little orifices and stuff. The chemicals, you can use just plain water in it because they do heat up. This one here has a 400-watt element in it to heat it up, so hopefully it warms up pretty quick. The fluid, the cleaning liquid that they recommended was this stuff. You guys see that? It's Von Haas Hand Forged Innovation Aqueous Parts Washer Super Concentrate. So let me see here. Oops, that's not working. I might even be able to get you guys to. But anyway, causes serious eye irritation, and I don't know. But this is what they recommended. And Parts Wash is an aqueous substitute for solvent-based cleaners. This safe, effective parts wash is non-carcinogenic, non-flammable, non-butyl, non-hazardous to clean up. Parts Wash has rust inhibitors to inhibit corrosion of the metal of all steel parts. Contains aloe, so your hands won't dry out. Water-based product that cleans up easily with water. Okay, it's water-based. It would clean up with water. Just reading it. Great for removing contaminants or debris such as dirt, grime, carbon, oil, grease, metal chips, cutting fluids, and corrosion from workpieces. So, 1 gallon makes up to 10 gallons. So I guess you're supposed to thin it out. Heavy cleaning is 1:1. Medium cleaning is 5:1. Light cleaning is 10:1. So, I think most of the stuff that I'm going to do is probably going to be heavy cleaning. So I think that will be the way we do that. It will be 1:1. So that's a 50% split, I would say. Anyway, so here's the machine. Pretty straightforward here on the controls. You have a temperature control. You have a time control. That's about it. And I think it gets up to 80 degrees Celsius. Which down here it's kind of cold. It doesn't freeze, so I'm not worried about that. But here's the inside of it. It's got a nice basket in here. But I'm pretty sure, I mean, just to kind of give you a scale. Can you see that? That's my hand in there. I think a 4-barrel, if you took the ends off like a Holly 4-barrel, I think would drop right in there pretty easy. I almost think even with the ends on it, if you didn't use the basket, would fit right in there quite nicely. And so if you had like an auto light or something like that that you were working on, I think it would fit right in there pretty well. It comes with a drain over here, as you can see. Got a little petcock to drain out the fluid. And the power plug is here in the back. Here's the specs on it. I'm going to zoom up on those a little bit. So 400 watt heater, which I noticed was different than a lot of the other ones. They were only 250 watts or 200 and with the so 10 liters. There's an email on it, and unit size 110 volts. There's the number on it, so you guys can freeze on that if you want. Got cool little handles on it, both sides. So let's fire it up and see what it does. So what we've done is I have dumped in the gallon of this green cleaner. As you can see, it's kind of foamy, and I went up and filled this up with a water, and I've dumped in almost all of it, and that brings me up level with the cage. I didn't want to go up any higher because I don't know how much, you know, when you put a part in there, it's going to displace that amount of water. I think our first cook project, here, let's plug it in. Well, it beeps. Let's try spinning it around so we can see the buttons. So it says temperature. If you hold it, you see that goes up. The hottest it gets is 80. So that's got to be hot, right? 80. And okay. So that's heating. It's at 7 degrees right now Celsius. The timer's over here. It has a 20-minute run timer on it. You can decrease that, say 19, 18, 17, whatever. We're going to go with that. We're going to let that number come up to temp, that 7-degree number, and then let's see if the ultrasonic actually works. Oh yeah, listen to that thing. Ooh, she's bubbling. So that's kind of crazy sounding. A lot of people said it was loud. Doesn't seem to be loud, but definitely popping some bubbles. Can you see that? And we're up to 10 degrees. So we'll let that keep cooking and warming up. I think it actually might heat up quicker, being that it's kind of moving the water around. So we'll continue on. Now, you guys can probably hear that now. It's much louder now that I've put the lid on it. Take the lid off, it's much quieter. So I think a lot of it has to do with just this lid kind of dancing around on here. I'm thinking that if a guy put some little foam or something sticky-ons, you know, kind of like, I think I got some double stick tape down here that's foam. Just stick that on the corners, on 4 corners. It would keep it up off, keep it covered, because if you put your hand on it, you know how much quieter it is? So so she really kind of makes some noise over there. So it's warming up slowly. This is going to be the candidate that we give a wash to. This is the original XR75 carburetor, and I'm hoping that noise isn't too loud. Maybe I'll move down here. It's darker, but anyway, I'll show you the insides. What do you guys think about that? Is that pretty gross or what? So I guess if we're going to try it, we're going to try it right and clean all that crap up. I'm not even sure I can get the needle out of it. I might try, but I might give it a wash first and then see if that loosens it up enough, because it is crusty, nasty, white crud in there, and we'll see what happens. Okay guys, well, this thing's been cooking for about 2 hours. and I made 52 degrees. That's kind of sad, but it definitely is steaming, and the lid was on it doing its thing. So I'm going to put the carb in it and set the timer and cook it. See what happens. There it is in the tray. Kerplunk, kerplunk. Put this on it. Let's see here. Wow, you can set this for, I thought you could only set it for, well, you can keep going. 60, wow. I didn't think you could go that far with it. Thought it only went for 20 minutes. Maybe it goes for an hour. Oh, that's as far as it'll go. Okay. So, I set it for however long that is, and it's at 52 degrees Celsius, which is what, about 80 degrees? We'll let it do its thing, and we'll check it in half hour, 45 minutes. Okay guys, this thing's been cooking for probably about an hour. The temperature did get up to 76 degrees. I think I had it at 99 minutes. So 99 minus 20, whatever that equals. Math has never been one of my strong suits. But let's shut it off and take a look inside and see what's happened. Ooh, the lid is warm. Ooh, it's fuzzy looking. Nasty and dirty. That's kind of good. What do you think? It's a cool color. I bet that tray is hot. What do you think? So let's take it out of there with a pair of pliers. Okay guys, I'm not going to take it all the way out because, oops, as you guys can see, there you go, it's still got some crusties in there. So I think I'm just going to let her go back in there again and let her run for a little while longer and see what comes out of it. So, but it's been in there probably a good hour. There is some crusties in there though. So there we go. As you guys can see, there's some, I don't know if you can see that, but there's some dirt floating around, and but we'll see what it looks like afterwards. But she's steaming. I steamed up my lens. I fogged you guys out. Okay guys, we've let the carburetor cool down a little bit, and we've pulled out the parts, and as you can see, the white stuff is still there. It did not touch the white stuff. I can see down inside this tube that it is plugged up still. The brass actually looks better. I think the brass may have cleaned up a little bit on the floats. They look a little better. The inside of the carb, it seems to be blacker than it was, which is interesting. So let's scrub it here with my thumb. Yeah, there seems to be a residue on it that is coming off. As you can see here, the blackness is coming off on the carburetor. So my first impressions is it did something, but I'm not super impressed. But to be honest with you, I didn't really expect a heck of a lot from this cleaner here, because I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of stuff that, you know, makes my hands, you know, feel good, and I could probably drink this if I wanted to, and you know, so you know, I kind of like stuff that, you know, I know is probably like a carcinogen, and it's probably going to kill me because it has a little more punch to it. So, but anyway, it is what it is. And we'll clean this carburetor up with some other chemicals. We'll see what those do. I think Musty One he has one that one of the subscribers sent to him, and he's using, I think he's using like carb cleaner in it, like gunk carb cleaner. That might be a little too much. But you guys can see in there, now that it's not bubbling and doing its thing, you can see some dirt in it and stuff like that floating on the surface. So, but yeah, it smells like soap. I mean, it smells like detergent. So I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But it works. It functions. It runs. It does what it's supposed to there. So once we get the chemicals figured out, I think we'll be good. So again, guys, thank you for watching, subscribing, commenting. Let me know if you guys have some kind of chemical that you've been using that is superior to the crap that I'm using. Let me know what you got, if it's working good for you, and I will make sure to get some of it, and maybe we'll shoot some follow-up video to see how we have improved. So again, thanks. Bye.